Hey y'all, let's talk about the quadratic formula and how you solve problems with it. So the quadratic formula is this big, huge thing over here. I would say it's pretty dang important that you learn it, memorize it, write it 1,000 times if you need to, whatever you need to do to remember this over here. The quadratic formula is the only method we have of solving quadratic equations that works every single time. So we have learned so far how to factor a bunch of different ways. That is one way that you can solve quadratic equations. But factoring doesn't work for every single problem that you have. So if we're using the quadratic formula, the very first thing that we need to do is make sure that our equation is set equal to 0. So you'll notice here that it's not set equal to 0. We have a -8 on the right side. So I need to add 8 to both sides of this equation before I can start doing anything. So if I add 8 to both sides of the equation, it cancels out on the right side. And then I'm going to simplify it on the left. So I just bring down my x squared, bring down my 4x, and then I have a -40 plus 8. That's going to give you a -32. All right. So once you've done that part and made sure that it's set equal to 0, we need to just determine what our A, B, and C values are. So here A is equal to 1, B is equal to 4, and C is equal to -32. All right, now we do the kind of the messy work of plugging that all in. So you start by writing the opposite of B. So that's this part right here, opposite of B, or it looks like obviously it's written as -B. So we're going to write the opposite of B. So we had a +4, so I'm going to write a -4, plus or minus the square root of B squared. So again, that's 4, minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is -32. All right, and that's all over 2 times our A value, which is 1. So now what we're going to do in the next step is we're going to do some simplifying. You can get your calculator out, but you just need to be real careful in how you're typing this in. I always start here with B squared. You have to put it in parentheses because if this number was negative and you didn't put it in parentheses, it kind of mess up your answer a little bit. Just know that whenever you square something, your answer always has to be positive. So 4 squared is going to give us 16. And then you need to do -4 times 1 times -32 and see what that gives you. So it's actually going to give you a positive 128. All right. And that's all over 2 times A, which is just 2. And then again here, I'm just going to simplify again. I'm going to do 16 plus 128 in the calculator, and I get 144 all over 2. All right. And again, I need to simplify. So if you're not sure if this number here underneath the radical is a perfect square, just type it in your calculator. You type second the x squared button, which gives you the square root, and you get that the square root of 144 is 12. Okay, so we're going to do -4 plus or minus 12 over 2. Now, this can be the step that people get a little bit confused at. You actually need to split this into 2 problems, all right? 2 different problems. So we're going to write it as -4 plus 12 over 2, and negative 4 minus 12 over 2. All right, so make sure that you do everything in the numerator first. Negative 4 plus 12 gives you 8 over 2, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, and then you have negative 4 minus 12, which gives you negative 16 over 2, which obviously simplifies to negative 8. So here are your two answers. X is equal to 4 and negative 8.